Both men are towering figures in American history. Roosevelt, the rugged reformer president who charged up San Juan Hill and busted monopolies. Twain, the literary icon who gave America its voice of reason and sarcasm. At first glance, you'd think they'd get along. They were both progressive, both reform-minded, both enemies of corruption. But they clashed hard. I think many of us associate Roosevelt and Twain with progressive-minded men of that age. Let's be fair, Roosevelt and Twain did share common ground. Both believed America had drifted into greed and excess. Both wanted reform. Roosevelt in politics, Twain in public morals. Both were critics of unchecked capitalism. And both were media rock stars. They knew how to work a crowd, sell a book, or dominate a headline. But there was a chasm between them, especially when it came to imperialism and war. However, the relationship between these two outstanding men fell apart in a big way. Roosevelt loved war, not in theory, in practice. He once said, "A just war is the best teacher of civilization." He genuinely believed combat built character, probably because he built his own identity around toughness. And Twain? Twain believed war was tragedy with a brass band. He saw the Spanish-American War, and especially the brutal suppression of Filipinos afterward, as a moral catastrophe. Twain joined the Anti-Imperialist League and proposed that America replace the stars and stripes with skulls and crossbones. To him, Roosevelt's loud patriotism and war fever weren't just annoying, they were dangerous. A closer look at Teddy. Let's pause for a second. Was Roosevelt really insane? No one's diagnosing the dead, but some historians and mental health professionals have floated the idea that Roosevelt may have been bipolar or something close to it. He had massive bursts of energy. He was impulsive, obsessive, deeply emotional. He could bounce between grandiosity and despair. But here's the thing. He harnessed it. Roosevelt willed himself into becoming the force of nature history remembers. He was a sickly child who became a cowboy, a grieving widower who became a war hero, a political insider who picked fights with his own party. If there's a good kind of insane, he was it. Twain's point still stands. Twain, for his part, wasn't against bold ideas. He just didn't believe in steamrolling over people to get them. He feared that Roosevelt's style, bullying, charging forward, glory hunting, would become the template for American power, and to some extent, it did. Final thought, earned or not? So, was Teddy Roosevelt's historical reputation earned? Yes and no. He earned his spot on Mount Rushmore through reform, vision, and force of will. But some of the same traits that made him great also made him terrifying. And Mark Twain? He was right to be nervous. Maybe the lesson here isn't about who was right, but about what happens when two powerful visions of America collide.